day, Ruskin enjoys. Happy to write because it's time for the predictions video. So, the May 21, 2026 Rush Store has rotated in. It is a perfectly fine batch of skins, lots of notable collection continuations and whatnot. And what we're going to do is we're going to sit here, look at all these skins and try and figure out which of these skins potentially is the best investment for this week, which of these skins might help us walk away with some sweet, delicious looking profit. So, sit back, relax. I'm going to start yapping. And you know what? I'm going to give you my conclusion right now, okay? I'm going to sit here and talk about the skins that I truly believe will work out, positively and become very nice investments, all right? So, are you ready? Okay, let's start doing that right now. So, jokes aside, I don't really see anything. I've had quite a few comments today. People just like, just Like, I don't hate what's been added, but I will also point this out. So this is still the conclusion, right? I don't think we're going to have a very busy week, and maybe the choice of skins this week was due to the fact that we know for the second week of June 2026 we have a complete the sets Rush Store. Perhaps they're going to be a little bit tame this week, next week, maybe even June. We'll see. But I honestly don't think anything here really speaks to me, into me like thinking, oh, that could be a perfectly fine investment and whatnot. Yeah. Now again, tame sales, lack of sales. You know what? Maybe some things might actually work out quite alright, but we would be relying upon a lack of sales, a lack of interest. Because of course, if we still see more collection continuations being accepted after these and whatnot, okay, that's fine. And, you've got, like, Gothic Veil. That's the third door to be accepted. No Mercy is so vast and big, I don't think anything really will give that a boost. At the very least, it might be the first electric furnace to not sell that much and whatnot. I'm a bit surprised to see Hellcore Bandana and Poncho. We went from hoodie and pants to primitive skins? Where's the tier 2? Where's the tier 3? I don't know. That's a perfectly fine pump shotgun, but there will be another one next week. Of course, there'll also be another electric furnace next week. Berserker Tactical Gloves, I mean, that's a big surprise, but you know what? I welcome it. The collection would appreciate it. That's cool. Not going to complain. Bird of Luck Handmade NMG, the weapon skin collection, it's not very in demand. So, do you understand what I'm meaning when I say there might be some problems? Maybe like Mutagen SMG could work out. That's got a transparent aim sight. And you might recall the recent skins, and like Hellcore, Ghost Halloween, Ruin SMG. You know what? Actually, that might probably be the one. Because right now it's the second lowest selling skin. It is $3. So I will sit here and say, to be honest with you, nothing looks insane to me. More specifically, you're going to want to take part in the abnormal barders next week, because only one skin this week is not abnormal. It's the Crit Barricade. That's literally just the only skin this week that's not abnormal. Everything else here, we should wait until next Wednesday. I will be on stream. I will be sitting here. We will be discussing all the skins. We'll look at the sales. We'll question, is that too much? Is that all right? I think only then would we actually get a good idea whether these skins could work out as nice investments. So this is where I'll quickly, hop back to last week. I'll get a quick look at all the skins here, because after we did the abnormal barders last night, let's just quickly show you that. So Ruskin abnormal barders, there you go. We looked at all the skins. We looked at the sales. We made considerations. We did the barders. I looked at the abnormal barder support, and basically I came to the conclusion I need to jump in, buy 50 Heatseeker pump shotguns, 30 naval camera backpacks, and 30 redemption bows. Only after doing the barders did I feel confident to jump in. So, in short, the pump shotgun sold like next to nothing, and, well, that's true. In fact, let's go back over to here so you can see it all for yourself. It only did 8,700 subscribers. I am expecting more Heatseeker skins to be accepted. So, will we see the water pipe? We shall see. Anyway, that was in a very interesting position. And again, it's the lack of sales. So that, could we end up with a very similar situation we saw here with some of the skins we see here? Now, hopping back, I also jumped in on the naval camo backpack. I thought it lined up very nicely with the rest of the skins in the set. And, well, backpacks in general actually going up in price. I didn't mean to click that, but I could mention it as well. So, yeah, we have the naval camo set. Yeah, I think it's got a pretty decent future ahead of it. Some people did mention, wouldn't people prefer to use, the diving kit, the oxygen tank? That's a good shout. That is a good shout. And then, of course, with the bow, I mean, Redemption weapon skins, they've been doing very nicely as of recent. And transparent bow, I thought they looked good. There's also a transparent crossbow that I submitted in the workshop this past weekend. Didn't see that today. Sorry. Anyway, so in conclusion, all right, you got to wait till Wednesday. Now, by all means, if you saw a skin, you thought, oh, that looks cool. Should I just buy it? Yeah, just go buy a skin. You're allowed to treat yourself, okay? Buy it, use it, enjoy it, support the skin creators, keep them nice and motivated to keep wanting to put out nice creative designs in the future. You know how it works, all right? But I think it will be a quiet week. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to switch over to micro522.com. I'll quickly point out, all right, every time we see the roster rotate, if you hop over to here and click accepted skins, it might take a good few minutes for it to update, but there you go. You might notice that, okay, yep, every single skin does have a positive upvote to downvote ratio. But you also might notice some of these skins did not have that much interest. Like, not even enough people cared to even downvote. I will reiterate this over and over and over again. You can vote for skins in the Rust Workshop, but it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's up to Face Punch. So, yeah. Oasis Bed, with all due respect, that's a nice looking skin. And do consider watching my Rust rotation video to get a good look at all these skins, because they do look nice. It's just, is their interest. And with the lack of, like, that's got 23 votes in total. Even the Flow Pump Shotgun, that had 23 votes in total. Now, I'll also bring up, No Mercy Electric Furnace. I'm not surprised to see that as accepted. It's totally fine. I've got nothing against it. It's just, in the grand scheme of things, so hop back over to here. By default, this will show you the order of the top scoring skins. Now, score is actually something set up by Steam, like Steam itself, Valve itself, the Steam Workshop overall. So this website acknowledges that upvotes, downvotes, favourites, views and whatnot. I don't fully know the whole formula, but basically all of that, it will figure out an overall score. And hey, No Mercy Electric Furnace was pretty good, but it was the 10th highest skin this past weekend. So we also happen to see like Popstar Electric Furnace, Heat Seeker Water Pipe Shotgun, Naval Camo Jacket, cool looking fridge, Space Sheep in the Door. Like, we've had some there's some nice looking skins there. That's the point I'm trying to get across. And surprisingly, this week we saw a lot of early picks as well. I'm not joking. Every single week, Hedge is always looking at the newer skin submissions, and lots of ticks here. So tick, 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 tick. I accidentally had the Trouble Ally. Sorry about that. But yep, there you go. May 19. I think 8 of the skins today were early picks, which is a big surprise. But again, if you are aware of what's on the horizon, I think it's going to be a bit tame for a while. And then June, we're going to probably have a very good Force Wipe Rush store. And then the second week, we'll have a very interesting batch of skins that, from notable collections and whatnot. You get the idea. So, cool. Complete the Sets Candidates collection that you see right here. This is made by me. It's not official, but I will link this in the description, right? Consider giving this a good look. I will be making a video specifically talking about Complete the Sets this weekend, but basically, you'll notice there's a lot of collections from the past. Everything here is a candidate, but everything here is also like a representative of their collection. Here's Raw Timetable, for example. I'll look over to here. I'll also point out, didn't we also have a sheep in the door recently? Don't we also happen to have a rug? Don't we have a small box? They're also candidates, all right? So whilst this is on display, it's actually the representative of the whole collection. So now that you acknowledge that, oh look, Harbour Seal Fridge. I mean, it's a perfectly fun, goofy looking design. I'm sure a lot of people appreciate it. But if you actually look at the collection itself, you'll notice there's actually a lot more there. So, all right, consider giving that a good look. Feel free to comment below. What would you like to see being accepted? I should also point out, whilst it's set, and let's go get the Discord. This is the official Ruskin Making Discord. Here you go. All right, here you are. Yep, perfect. I will confirm to you, right? It's only set for the second week of June. They've quite literally said, hey, skin creators, you can take a break. Jack, we might still get 2 weeks. We still see random extra late picks happening every now and then. So, hey, we'll see how that goes. But by default, it's only official that only one Complete the Sets Rust will be happening, okay? Maybe later this year we'll have another one. We'll see how it goes. Now, I should also point out, The auto turret just so happens to be the brand new skinnable for June 2026. Keep an eye out. I think we're going to see some very interesting skins. Now, I should also point out, if you haven't noticed, Industrial DLC is looking stacked. And yes, Mr. Protox has already got a video. I'll mention that in a second. But we do have an Industrial auto turret. Face Punch probably just sat there and thought, you know what, why don't we just make it skinnable? Now, we've gone through the effort to make our own skin for it. Let's just make it skinnable. So, all right, cool, it's happened. And what collection would you like to see with a brand new auto turret? What unique idea do you have for an auto turret? I've already asked for little snowmen for Christmas. I'd actually want Face Punch to make that themselves. Yeah, you could, like the inflatable Santas you might see outside shops and stores and even outside people's houses. You could do that as well. Santa knows where you are. You're not getting anywhere near this base. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, snowmen as well. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway. So, yep. Industrial DLC, it is stacked. And if I could just quickly hop back over to here, I'll put Protox's tweet in the description. The link for the video is there as well. There's a lot being showcased there. And notably, there is a bolus crossbow. Have you noticed recently on the Steam market, we've noticed the transparent crossbows going down in price a little bit. Sorry, I'm all over the place. So Stinger crossbow is the notable example. We saw that come out last year. It rose up in price very, very nicely recently. Well, you might have noticed it started to suffer. Also, you might notice it's not showing any prices. For some strange reason, I'm noticing that quite a lot. If you hop over to the Steam Market beta, it works again. And then, of course, what is causing that drop? Look at that. What? Death. So it's doing quite all right. It was about $6 just a few days ago. Now we have a sudden drop-off because people have seen the bolus crossbow. I just want to make sure you're fully well aware. This right here, that DLC is going to probably be about $15. Bolus crossbow is going to be $15. Whilst you get all the other stuff with it, it's going to be $15, all right? So if you really care about the crossbow in particular, Stinger is cheaper. Now it's even cheaper. So, yeah, cool. That'll also be linked in the description. So I do apologise for being a little bit all over the place. Just wanted to make sure that you're aware of what's coming up. And, yeah, cool. So as of now, the rush store rotated. It was a bit later. So last week it was super early. This week it was a fair bit later. Like the difference in time, it's about 7 hours, 8 hours almost. This rush store rotated a good 5 hours ago. I think we're 4 to 5 hours ago. Yep. So based on what I'm looking at, it does look as if it's going to be a tame week, a quiet week. Okay. Now, again, I could go through all of these skins. I could yap. But the reality is, to be honest with you, we just need to see a lack of sales. We do have tons of garage doors already. We know we're going to see a lot more electric furnaces. Are people going to care about this if we never actually see like tier 3 and tier 2? There will be more pump shotguns. Does this stand out enough? Do you slot in nicely? Will you sell just as much compared to the other Berserker skins of the past? It's an in-demand collection. Maybe it's going to be perfectly fine. Remember, boots there are perfectly fine. It only sold a certain amount and it's 50% up in value. Will people care about a weapon-only collection? How many beds are we going to see? Since October, we have got 33 skins in total. I think that's a bit glitch, so technically speaking, it should be 32. Do people care about the Oasis collection? Or rather, let me check this way, and then you can look at the older skins. Okay, sorry about that. Let me just look at this way. Sorry. And basically, the skin creators swapped around for who was the main guy who uploaded, so there you go. Do people care about the Oasis collection? There you go. Would a transparent aim sight custom SMG actually retain value and work out? Especially noting that it's $3. You never know. Maybe we might see a collection continuation appear in the Rust Workshop over the course of this weekend. I'm just saying. So, keep an eye out. Do people even care about concrete barricades? Are they, like, frothing at the mouth to go place them around everywhere? Or at the very least, for Halloween this year, do we have some interesting decorative pieces? Are we going to have some very interesting builds for Halloween 2026 with the brand new crypt building skin? So, there's still some nice, interesting things to be said and whatnot. You get the idea. But with everything I just said, basically you should consider keeping an eye out for the Rust Workshop skin checks videos I put out. As I mentioned earlier, the majority of skins this week, they were early picks, and quite literally we do talk about pretty much all of them almost. I will own up to the fact that I accidentally missed out with the SAR collection continuation for the alloy, and stupidly I forgot the Reptile Hunter sleeping bag. It was a V2, but still Hedge. So I apologise for that, and to the skin creators. I'll make sure I definitely have all of them next week. But there was a lot. This video went on for an hour. But again, when there's a new video, just look in the description, look at all the collections being mentioned. You can just skip ahead to the one you care about. I don't blame you. So yeah, there's a lot. Cool. So that's pretty much everything that needs to be said. I also hope you, yes you, the man sitting here, or woman, I mean, the guy, yeah, let's go there. Anyway, I hope you watched this video as well. I know you're here for investments and whatnot, but right now prices have improved very, very nicely. And I don't blame you if you're considering wanting to make some sales. But as we're slowly dabbling into June time now, could we potentially have a dip? I do reference that quite a lot in this video. And again, please consider watching. There's lots of examples. There's lots of points of me just, making sure you're fully well aware of what's going on. But yeah, May has been very, very good. But is it still, do we still have the momentum? Or is it starting to cool off again? But will we resurge once we reach around like July and August? Because typically, as we go through July and August time, that is where we tend to see the summer peaks. And that is where we tend to see the all-time high prices happening again. So that, of course, coincides with player count. So back over to here. Yep. I do believe we'll still go over 100,000 by the end of this month. We have 2 more weekends to go through, and I think it'll hold it up. I think it'll be good. But starting with June, I believe North American kids start having summer vacation. And then, across the world, it's like July time. We're expecting a lot more people to be playing during the summer. I know seasons are different around the world, I'll just clarify, but yes, June, July, August tend to be the summer months for Rust. And that's when we tend to see more people playing, and that's when we tend to see prices improving because there's more demand for skins. So back over to here, looking at these skins once more. Yes, there might be a lack of interest right now, and they're very that can lead to a lack of sales, but that's not necessarily a bad thing for us, the investors. Okay. There's a lack of sales. All the better for it to rise up in value in the future. So that's why we're better off waiting. I went a really weird roundabout way to get back to this point, didn't I? Yeah, I'm so sorry. But, this is going to be a shorter video, isn't it? And we kind of get to the point straight away, so cool, understandable. Right, so all I can sit here and say is you're much better off waiting it out until Wednesday. Look at the sales, then make a consideration. I've seen some very nice looking skins, and once again I'll point out, please consider watching the Rust Rotation video to get a good look at them. There's some promising looking designs, but I have to acknowledge I don't think people are very thrilled today. That's the best way of putting it without sounding mean. You never know, if we do see even more collection continuations being accepted after this, these could go up quite nicely. A nice little spike and price, yes. So cool, that's it then. That's everything I really needed to say. So, thank you very much for watching me. You can put some comments below and whatnot. I know some of you are just really desperate for me to sit here and say certain skins, but I'm being truthful. You've got to wait till Wednesday, and then it'll become a lot more clearer, and especially after do the abnormal barders. Cool. So, if you don't understand abnormal barders, consider watching the most recent video. Watch the first 5 minutes, skip ahead to the barders chapter, and then listen in as we talk about the abnormal barder support. There's a reason why I jumped in and bought 50 Heat Seeker pump shotguns, 30 naval camo backpacks, and 30 redemption bows. After a lot of discussion about the potential positives, after looking at the amount of support each skin had after we did the abnormal barders, yeah, they look like they're going to actually retain their value. They looked as if they're actually going to work out as nice investments in the future. So that's it, that's it. Thank you very much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. Best luck to all of you. Enjoy your weekend, and, well, catch you later.